Hello, my friend. This is Victor Pacini, and welcome to the Be Seen and Heard journey.
Videos and audios that will empower
you. Hey, it's Victor. Welcome to another Be Seen and Heard journey. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. On behalf of Childhood Victories, we are so excited that you're with us. If you haven't had a chance, please read Deanna's blog. This message is really, really important. It's about handling and dealing and coping with traumas in our lives. If you don't know my story, I was sexually abused when I was 8 years old by a family friend. And I kept it an unsafe secret for a very long time, 11 years to be exact, until one day I said I was done. I made a decision that I didn't want to live in that pain anymore. So I took a path of being productive and positive as much as I could, and that was to talk about it. See, some people would deal with it by doing drugs or alcohol. Whatever the case is, everyone's different, but for me, it was to get help. I didn't know what that was at the time, but I did know that I wanted to talk to somebody. So I finally had the courage. I talked to my sister, Renee, who had the ability to know that something wasn't right because I was talking very quietly to her on the phone. I'll never forget this. I was at college, and she guessed it out of me. She said, "Come home," and I left college, and I needed to get the help that I really, really was yearning for, and that was to just get it out and to be able to deal with it and talk about it. Again, everyone deals with things differently. Some take the path of destruction, some take the path of construction. And for me, I wanted to construct a life that I would be proud of, and I knew that I could do it. I just didn't have the tools at the time. And so when I started going to counseling, I remember I started being very creative. I started writing. I started to jot down notes, and then these notes turned into songs, and these songs have become part of my educating students on having the courage to speak up throughout my life and my career of presenting in schools, which that in itself is the way I have coped with my abuse, as well as my trauma of being a son of a violent alcoholic parent. My father, during the time of my abuse and dealing with my abuse, my father was this very destructive man at home. I nicknamed him the monster. He was that person that I was always afraid of, but I loved my dad. And so my dad was this violent alcoholic who, as a little child, I can remember him literally like being the massive bully that he was at home, and he would physically hurt my mom in front of everybody. He just didn't care. He had a lot of problems, but I learned to love my dad through those problems, and not everybody can do that. But for me, I'm the youngest of 5 kids, so I was very little when all this was happening, and I remember being a sponge. I just watched everything around me, and my beautiful brother used to get in the middle of them trying to help my mom out. It was very, very difficult and very, very painful. But the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because as I got older, I made a decision that I wanted to use my ability to create and to create out of my pain and to help people. And my hope is that people can learn from what I've gone through. Maybe I can inspire them. Maybe I can empower them. You know, again, I say this to everyone when I talk to kids, that I can't do it for you. And I'm not the answer for you. Nobody is the answer for you but you. And I raise my hand because I'm still working on that in my life every day. I think the mirror is the greatest thing we can have because it's literally telling us that we are the answer. Every day when we look in the mirror, we are the answer. Well, that's a side note. But I want to share a little bit of this. Look up here on the screen. This is something that I created out of my pain. I literally did the silhouette of my parents, my dad hitting my mom. Very, very painful picture to look at, but that's a portrait of my father in the background. And if you can tell by his hands down here, if you look here, my dad was a heavy smoker. And so the smoke I remember seeing smoke everywhere in the house. And I put the words courage. And I think it was my mom's courage to stay in a situation where she could have easily left, but she had the courage to stand by her man and to help him. And my father finally had the courage to get help. So I honor my father because he was able to become a recovering alcoholic for about 30 years until he passed away. And again, this is another way I created out of my pain. And I created this piece of artwork of my father reading the Alcoholics Anonymous book. And so my way of coping with pain is to create, whether it's songs, whether it's just poems in my notebook, and whether it's art and design. Here's a piece that I created. It's kind of hard to see, but it says, there it is. It says, impossible. Flip the switch, then nothing can stop you. And if you change the word, the way you look at the word impossible, it's just some spacing, and you flip the switch and you can turn it into I'm possible. So this is my goal, is to empower people to know that they have the answer within them, to dig down deep inside, and to know that the answer to a dark room or a dark place in your life is light. And how do you do it? You got to flip the switch. In order to flip the switch, you have to take action. In order to take action, you have to know that you're not alone, that there are people that are willing to help you. And so it is my hope, and it is Deanna's hope, that through our creative processes that we can maybe inspire somebody to realize that they are not alone, that they have the tools, that they can gain more tools by following the path of wanting to learn on how to improve themselves. Again, I live with this saying in my mind every day of my life, and that's this: I don't want to be better than anyone else. I just want to be better than I used to be. And I am working on it every single day. I am a creative work in progress, and so are you. Well, I hope you've been inspired. I'd ask you to share this video with your friends and family, and let's make 2021 an amazing year. And remember, all children, no matter how old we are, from newborn all the way to 115 years old, we all have the right to be seen and heard. Have a great day.
Hey, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Be Seen and Heard journey. If you'd like to follow me, please go to youtube.com/Victor Pacini or instagram.com/Childhood Victories, or head over to facebook.com/Childhood Victories, or visit my website, victorpacini.com. Please share this with your friends and family, and until next time, be seen and heard.